my name is Joanna and I'm feeling crafty. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk all about sewing, crafting and dressmaking. So today's video is a pattern review. I subscribe to the Fibre magazine. It's my favorite thing ever. Whenever it comes, it's just the way the photographs are taken. I just feel like I have a fashion magazine in my hands, so it just gives me all sorts of warm feelings when it arrives in the post. So this is the latest issue, and I was very drawn to the KIKA dress, which is this one. This is the line drawings. So it's a very loose-fitting dress. It has an empire waist, kind of a full bellowy sleeves, nice pockets. I just like the way the pockets are inserted. It's just a very interesting design. So this is one version, kind of a casual, but they also made it in a I think like a satin fabric, and I just think this is very go outy. Sorry for the glare of the sun there, not sure. I thought this might be a good light instead of the ring thing situation. You have to forgive me these things, because as far as YouTube is concerned, I'm a baby. I only just took my first steps, so I'm just learning as I go. So if this is unprofessional, all this glare situation, you have to stick with me until I learn to properly walk. So back to the pattern review. I made a size large, and the only measurement that you really need for this pattern is the bust, because that is the only area where it would be in any way fitted, even though it's not really, right? So you just go by your bust measurement, and my bust is 39 to 40 inches depending on the time of the month. So I went with size large, which is a bust of 100 to 104 centimeters. And then the finished garment measurements give you the bust of 116 centimeters, which is about 12 centimeters, and that would be about 4 inches, 3.5 inches of wearing is, which is plenty. I usually am perfectly happy with 2 inches of wearing is. Okay, so that's the size that I traced. Now, so this is the first version that I made. I'm going to show you her in her full glory. I might just move you a little bit. How is that? Okay, so this is she. She is she has empire waist. Yeah, it's more boobs than waist, in all fairness. Loosey-goosey sleeves, and it's about mid-calf length. I'll tilt down so you can see the length of it on me. Now I am 5'9" for reference, okay? About 176 centimeters for those of us that do metric. I don't know if you are familiar with Fibre magazine. Fibre you can buy their patterns in PDF form, but if you subscribe to the magazine, the patterns come on these sheets, and you have to trace them, and you have to add seam allowance. Now, full disclaimer, mistakes have been made. So I was a little lazy when I traced it. I just thought it's a loosey-goosey garment. It's not fitted in any way. It's supposed to be oversized. I thought I can get away with not adding seam allowance. I had plenty of wearing ears in it. Yeah, I thought, you know, I'll get away with it. I didn't. So I traced a straight size large and didn't add seam allowance. As the result of it, the yoke hits me halfway across my boobs. And even though I don't mind it in this version whole pile, because it's a very busy print and it's a very loose garment, it's not going to stop me from wearing this dress. I still love this dress. Here she is in a different light, different location. I'm still trying to find the best spot in my sewing room for filming, so you have to forgive me. It's a journey. As I said, I'm a YouTube baby. I've just taken my first steps, so go easy on me. So this is she. Oh my god, how tall is she? I've just yanked my dress form as high as it possibly can go, just so I can show you the beautiful inside of my dress. So my dress, my KIKA, is wrong side out, because I want to show you the finish of the yoke. So I thought the yoke was a missed opportunity. So the pattern would have you overlock the edges of the facing, the inside of the yoke. You would have an overlocked edge here, and you stitch from the right side and catch the edge. So you pin from the front, which I thought, you know, it's fine, but for me it wasn't good enough. So what I did, I stitched the facing to the outer yoke to finish the neckline, and then I pressed the edge under a little bit less than 1 centimeter, and then I pinned it and stitched from the right side, kind of stitched in the ditch. And you probably won't be able to see it because my stitching in the ditch is so fantastic. Okay, so so that's how I did the sides. Now the bottom again would be overlocked as per the pattern, but I decided to French seam it. So this the whole skirt is French seamed all the way around. That's how I joined the bodice to the skirt. So as I mentioned, I did not add any seam allowances. So not only that, I also French seamed, which takes about 5/8 of an inch. So I was really asking for trouble by doing so. But again, I don't mind it. It's a busy print, and the fact that it hits me right across my boobs is not going to stop me from wearing this dress. The next thing that really bothered me in this pattern, and this time that's not my mistake, it's the pattern really, the depth of the pockets, they're really shallow. Yeah, I don't have particularly big hands, but I wouldn't even be able to, like, you know, have them fully inside. So I corrected that for the second version. Again, not something that would stop me from wearing it. I wouldn't put much in these pockets anyway. This fabric is viscose. I think it's a viscose crepe. So it's way too lightweight to even put my phone in, because that would drag the dress. So I'd be careful what I put in these pockets, but still, I didn't like that. So I added a couple of inches to the bottom of the pockets. So so beautifully finished yoke, French seamed bodice to the skirt. So I just had to continue with the French seam. So the side seams are French seamed. Now, because of the seam allowance mistake, I didn't want to lose any length of the sleeve or the hem, so I just finished with bias tape. It's just black satin bias tape. I attached that to the hem of the sleeve and put the elastic inside that channel, and the hem I just hemmed it with bias tape. And this dress is just about long enough for me to be comfortable in it. I think I like filming standing. There's something nice about that. I feel like I'm in my classroom. This is she. I really like her, but there were a few things that I needed to correct, which I did in this version. So what I have done, I have retraced the bodice pieces, which are here. Okay, so I retraced them. I added 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, but I also added 1 inch to the length of the yoke. I still wanted to finish the dress with French seams throughout, but I just wanted the yoke to hit me below my boobs. Yeah, it's it's just more comfortable. What else have I done? Oh yes, then the pocket. I retraced the pocket. So this is the pocket pattern piece, and what you, it goes this way. What you do with it, you kind of fold it in half, like so. So you, there's no seam here. This one's a fold in here, and then the bottom I French seamed that. So what I have done with this pattern piece, I added 2 inches to the bottom of this whole piece to give me proper depth of the pocket, and I'm really happy with that. Again, this fabric is viscose twill, very lightweight, wouldn't put anything heavy. Maybe I would put a fawn in this, because this fabric would be a little bit heavier than this one. What else have I done? So I just lengthened the yoke pieces by 1 inch. What I have forgotten to do is to lengthen the sleeve. So the sleeve kind of starts right here. So you gather the sleeve into the yoke. So I should have added 1 inch here, which I didn't, which means that I lost a little bit of the fullness. You still have room there because the sleeve is gathered to the yoke, but this version is gathered ever so slightly less than this because I didn't add the 1 inch to the bottom of it. Okay, again, doesn't bother me in the slightest, but if you want to add the 1 inch to the length of the bodice, please don't make my mistake and add that 1 inch here as well. Now the front yoke, so as you can see, the inside, the facing yoke is cut on fold. Okay, so you have 2 pattern pieces. This is your facing, which you cut on fold. Okay. But the front piece, you cut 2 pieces of it, which looks very cute in this version. Now, in this version, I deliberately didn't pattern match it because I thought this would look nice to have this mishmash. Now that I see it, do I love it? Maybe not. I don't know. Now, what I wanted to say is that you don't actually have to cut 2 pattern pieces. You can totally use the same pattern piece and have this cut on fold. What else have I done? I have added the seam allowance that the pattern tells you to do. I added 1.5 inches to the length of the sleeve, and the sleeve, I'm really happy with this sleeve length now. I did double turn and put the elastic in. Now the sleeve, it's a very interesting pattern piece, and I'm going to pull the pattern piece here. Okay, so this is the sleeve pattern piece. It's massive, okay, and you kind of need it for the design of the yoke, because it's kind of heavily gathered. So this is the sleeve head, but the bottom is not that full, and you can totally, in my opinion, you don't have to put the elastic in because of the length of it. Even if it's full, it's not going to end up in your food, and it kind of looks cute, not gathered with elastic. So you can leave that off if you want. I decided to put the elastic in. I kind of like it, but that's another thing that you totally don't have to do. Oh, and then the length of this one, I didn't lengthen it. I'm going to tilt you down ever so slightly, and be careful not to show you the pile of laundry that's here. So as you can see, it's kind of a little bit lower than mid-calf, which I find perfect. So I wear it with leggings and runners and absolutely love it. It's this fabric is a viscose twill, but I don't know if you can see, there's a bit of a copper shiny thread going through. What's the word for the shiny thread? Lurex. Lurex, is it Lurex? I'm not sure. Anyway, there's a shiny bit in it. I love this fabric. Now the story of this fabric. I've had it in my stash for like 6 years maybe, and I pulled it out and ironed it, got it ready to be cut so many times, and I just couldn't bring myself. But then I thought, why am I doing that? Do you do that too? Being so precious about your fabric? So I absolutely love this dress. It's a little bit fabric hungry beast. The pattern I think specifies for my size 4.2 meters. I didn't use 4.2 meters. I had 4 meters of each of these, and I have a little bit left. This is my, so what's here? A little bit less than a meter, I would think. So I have some left. So you can squeeze it out of 3.5 meters, in my opinion, depending on the size, obviously. But yeah, I love it. It's the most comfortable thing, and depending on what kind of fabric you use, I think you can do a lot with this pattern. So I think I might, maybe, possibly make more, but does one need more than 2 of these? I don't know. I guess time will show. So this is all I had for you today. I hope you find this pattern review useful, and if you do, give me a comment. I'm going to have a sip of my tea. Do you use your travel mug in your sewing room as well? Am I the only one? I'm just so afraid of spilling stuff that I use my travel mug when in my sewing room, because I'm the clumsiest person there is. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye, and I will see you next week. Like, comment, subscribe, and all this good stuff. And support this baby YouTuber.